Bidoof into the camera.
I mean, I'm looking at
you'll
Hayley's
love to see
team.
it.
I'm looking at Hayley's team, and I'm wondering if none of those upgrades gets brought out at all, because it looks really good into this team.
Yeah, it might struggle a bit. But the thing is, Hayley has that, as you mentioned beforehand, kind of that 2-2-2 setup with the Indeedee Hatterene, the Archaludon Pelipper, and the Tatsugiri Dondozo.
Yeah, I wonder what's going to be the better hand of this, because Regidrago does have the damage up to do everything it wants to do, unless there's a Hatterene. And then, yeah, it was like Arnie's meant for speed. Hayley can deviate to a Trick Room mode. This is probably a whole lot of mind games coming out between these players.
Yeah, I'm interested in how this is going to play out, because there's certainly a lot of speed control will be at play here.
It only just depends on what comes out here for both these players. Indeedee Hatterene for Hayley, the Generation 8 staple. And now we get the Generation 9 staple of Indeedee and Iron Crown. And notably to note is Indeedee is faster for Arnie.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. And I imagine that's the case because Arnie's Indeedee is not planning to play around Trick Room all that much. I think this is... I think the thing about this, Hayley's Hatterene is in an interesting spot. It could protect turn 1, which might just be the easy play here, but if it doesn't, Tachyon Cutter is super effective against it normally, and Iron Crown's Terra Blast, which is ground, but Iron Crown's Terra Blast is super effective against Hatterene if it Terras, not to mention Expanding Force will just kind of blow it up anyways. Neither team has a way to get rid of Psychic Terrain, because both teams want Psychic Terrain.
Well, time to see if this over Hayley protects here. Follow Me going to come out here, so obviously there's going to be Tachyon Cutter coming out from this Iron Crown. And thankfully there was no Psychic Seed to be seen anywhere here. Actually just an Expanding Force is straight up. I mean, half damage to the Hatterene. Trick Room does go up, but I'm pretty sure Hatterene's at a smaller time than I would have liked to have because of that Expanding Force, and now it has to deal with that Life Orb.
Yeah, I didn't hate that first turn at all from Arnie. It got a lot of damage down with the Expanding Force, and here's the thing as well, is that this Indeedee still packs Trick Room even if it isn't planning to use it all that often.
Hatterene going to switch up for Hayley, interestingly enough. Do we see a different mode come out here? Archaludon comes in, likely signals Pelipper in the back as well. Archaludon, definitely an interesting Pokemon, has underwent a little bit of evolution throughout this introduction to Indigo Disc and to now. And that's an Expanding Force, not doing a whole lot of damage to either of these Pokemon. Archaludon does get the defense boost thanks to the stamina after getting hit. Trick Room gets reversed. I guess the thing now is how much. What do you want to do with Archaludon? Because you can switch out Indeedee for that Pelipper to get turn one Electro Shot off, but it's likely not going to knock out anything. And if we're looking at this, the rest of this, yeah, it's not for anything to knock out right now. So, do you want to set up with an Electro Shot? Or do you want to get guaranteed damage?
Yeah, I like Arnie moving quickly with confidence here. I think that I really don't know. I don't know what an Electro Shot does here. I don't think it's going to be able to pick up a one-hit knockout on either of these Pokemon. So Archaludon is kind of a sitting duck, and at the very least, if you bring in Pelipper, you're at least in a more normal speed tier, although I think Hayley wants Trick Room enough. I think the Pelipper and Archaludon are fairly slow.
Okay, neither Pokemon switch out. Another Helping Hand Expanding Force on the incoming for this Iron Crown. Do we see it protect anywhere? No, we're just going to see it Follow Me. I think this is maybe covering a Tachyon Cutter. I
think it's covering a Terra Ground Terra Blast.
What was the other Expanding Force? This will knock out the Indeedee. How is not doing enough damage to knock out the Archaludon because it's another defense boost.
A lot of damage though.
Yeah, and special defense still not the greatest, even with the Assault Vest. You know, not the greatest in the world. And now we gotta see Archaludon go for the Body Press. This is a +2, but it's only doing half.
Yeah, and it's just a neutral hit, and this Iron Crown is reasonably bulky, all things considered. And now one more Helping Hand Expanding Force might might just take out. It'll take out Archaludon and might take out Pelipper as well.
Yeah, and I had to think that. I mean, yes, we saw his Iron Crown go faster. That's another thing that Hayley's got to worry about. I don't know how. If
Archaludon and Pelipper are very slow. These are two very slow ones. Well, Iron Crown is absolutely faster.
Like they're not slow. They're like in the middle ground of speed. If that ever makes sense.
Yeah.
Hatterene comes back in here. Probably going to be a sacrificial option here against that Expanding Force or the Tachyon Cutter here. And Arnie terastallizing. Is this going to be the Terra Blast ground you were talking about?
I think it might just be. Yeah. It answered the Archaludon. It would have certainly picked up the KO. No questions asked. It's also not a bad answer into the or into the Hatterene. I don't know. I kind of would have preferred to see just a Helping Hand Expanding Force. I wanted to know how much that would have done to Pelipper, but it will certainly get rid of Hatterene.
Yeah, it will. And I think a reason that Arnie didn't opt to go for that Expanding Force is that Pelipper does carry wide guard for Hayley, and that's detrimental against it. Tailwind, at least that's set up for your At least that's a set against our Chalodon, but you lost your +2 stamina boost. Electroshock cannot touch the Iron Crown. Now the new question is, well, a couple questions. Well, first of all, does Dragon Pulse knock out Iron Crown from that range? And secondly, does Indeedee go for Follow Me?
Yeah, I think an Indeedee Follow Me is a really nice... It's a nice click here, and then Tachyon Cutter potentially into, I don't know, whatever. Or even just another Terra Blast into... Yeah, I actually think a Terra Blast into the Archaludon is a really nice play, because you can yeah, you can force all of those moves into Indeedee. Indeedee absolutely has the HP remaining to eat up 2 hits from these two.
Here comes the Electro Shot. It's going to charge up, get that special attack boost, and thanks to the rain, it will get the shot off into this Indeedee, but I don't see this knocking it out.
Yeah, I think Hayley has to hope that this knocks out. I don't think there's any way out of this otherwise.
Okay, well, do we see a critical hit then? We do not, and that's actually really dangerous.
It's good damage, but the thing is, even with the Hurricane, even with that finishing it off, I think the Terra Blast now gets Archaludon, and it'll just be a lonely Pelipper remaining, and I don't think a Pelipper will be able to handle it on its own.
I mean, certainly can with something like that. Oh, wait, it doesn't... Oh, my God, it doesn't have a water move, actually. Terra Blast ground is enough to knock out Archaludon. Hayley, okay, well, you gotta go back to the drawing board here. I mean, you definitely had the right idea. I just don't think leading Side Spam was actually the best thing you could do because, well, you had a Trick Room to deal with.
Yeah, at the very least, Hayley gets a teensy bit more information here, seeing one of Arnie's Pokemon in the back. Might be able to see the other one as well.
Well, here's Entei for Arnie. Is, what is his Entei? It's Assault Vest.
It's Assault Vest, pretty typical Assault Vest set. Sacred Fire, Extreme Speed, Stomping Tantrum, Snarl. Might just be, and Arnie does know that this Pelipper does not have any water moves, so the Entei is not at really any threat.
That's
will take a while, though.
Yeah, that is a focus that's gone at the very least with Extreme Speed. Hurricane, not doing a whole lot of damage to the Entei, does confuse it.
Yeah, I guess the out here is confuse here. I don't know.
The Expanding Force comes out. I think this is the writing on the wall here, and boom. No, not enough. Actually, Pelipper's pretty bulky.
Yeah, I think I guess the out here is...
Oh, wait a minute, Psychic Terrain's gone, never mind.
Yeah, no, the Psychic Terrain's gone, so it's not going to do all that much
damage. Does it hit itself? Does it hit itself? It does not, and Extreme Speed comes out. Arnie wins game 1 pretty convincingly.
Yeah, definitely a really solidly played game 1 from Arnie, and definitely figuring out that he had... It wasn't even that he had the better end of the Psychic Surge matchup, it's that he had the better turn 1 out of it. He realized that just... that is the big issue with Psy Spam, especially slow Psy Spam with something like a Hatterene, is that if you devote your first turn to setting up Trick Room, it means that you're taking a bunch of damage turn 1. Somebody is taking damage turn 1.
And when we saw Hatterene take half damage, we didn't see that much damage output against the Indeedee, but... I do agree, Hayley has to switch it up because although you were able to get the Trick Room up, you didn't get any benefit from it at all.
Yeah, I think I might have preferred something like a turn 1. And the thing is, this Hatterene also matches up really badly against Iron Crown because if it doesn't Terrastalize, it gets hit by Tachyon Cutter. If it Terrastalizes, it gets hit by Terra Ground, Terra Blast. And... maybe
we see the Dondozo?
I don't think the Dondozo. I think the Dondozo matches up really badly against this team.
I mean, I guess we taking into account his bad special defense. That maybe you're right about that.
Yeah,
it's certainly a possibility because
it is a possibility. It's not. Hayley's team matches up reasonably poorly against Arnie's in general, but like especially the Dondozo, I don't think has a really nice matchup here. I think it still has to be the same 4, and it might just have to be different Pelipper Archaludon. Try to get rid of the Iron Crown sooner.
Yeah, perhaps, and we're going to see something out. Oh, we're seeing Dondozo Tatsugiri straight up from Hayley, so this is a full-on commit from Hayley because the Dondozo cannot switch out.
Yeah.
And Tatsugiri is going to be doing nothing. You're just left going for Earthquake or Wave Crash, or potentially Order if you're calling out the Indeedee not going Terra Fairy, but here...
I think the problem here is that Dondozo, even despite the doubled speed, is still very slow. It will be slower than the Iron Crown here. So the Iron Crown will, I think, a Helping Hand boosted Expanding Force will just really wreck this Dondozo.
It probably won't do half, but it will do a sizable chunk.
It'll do a lot of damage. I might be overrating Dondozo a little bit, but
Well, Arnie doesn't want to find out the damage.
ooh, I think Arnie may potentially not.
Oh, that's a big read with that order up.
I think Arnie may potentially not be aware this Dondozo is very slow and actually slower than Iron Crown under Trick Room.
Well,
So it'll be faster under Trick Room. I think.
that's also depending on how trained this Dondozo is.
I see the numbers. Arnie does not see the numbers. So Arnie may believe that this Dondozo is a bit of a faster variant. We'll see the helping hand.
Is a +3 Earthquake enough to take a knockout, though?
That's the question.
It is slower, and yeah, we see Arnie's reaction. Earthquake goes out at +3. Unless it did a double knockout, and it does!
That's rough for Arnie. One of those cases where the double Dondozo speed is really threatening in a lot of cases. And in this case, I think Arnie gave it a little bit too much credit. This Iron Crown is pretty fast, all things considered.
And now you got Entei Ogerpon in the back. Both relatively fast for what they are. Meaning they should maybe underspeed Dondozo, but based on the speed, I think Dondozo kind of just wins the game here for Hayley. Unless of course, where's the... okay, yeah. Unless, of course, it's Ivy Cudgel for crit hits.
I think Ivy Cudgel crit and or Sacred Fire Burn are probably going to be important to the end of this one. But even still,
there's Hayley's hair in the grass. You gotta circumvent that, but that doesn't circumvent Sacred Fire completely. It just takes away the condition of
it's still weak to Sacred Fire now. If Sacred Fire crits,
it only takes away Sacred Fire as a win condition. It only takes away Ivy Cudgel as a win condition.
Yeah.
And okay, we see another Terra Grass. Is this Entei the grass, or are we gonna see Ogerpon?
Terra Grass.
It's Entei.
Yeah. Just because there's now nothing that really hits these Pokemon that hard from the Dondozo. This will take a little while. The Dondozo probably will not be able to mop up this entire game, but we'll see what comes in the back for Hayley.
Earthquake not going to be hitting a whole lot of damage to these grass types. Actually, almost doing half the Ogerpon respectively enough. Sacred Fire connects. It's decent damage and gets the burn.
Get the burn. So this will at least be Arnie stalling out quite a bit of time with this.
And Ivy goes, yeah,
wow,
that does so little damage.
Nothing.
Leftovers healing as well for Dondozo. And, well, stalling at the trigger is not going to be the worst thing in the world now, but I mean, you're pretty close to circumventing that burn thanks to Order Up from earlier, but you need to get one more to fully circumvent it, because right now you're technically at +1 because of it.
Yeah, I like the spiky shield for the Ogerpon here. Try to delay a little bit longer.
Order Up and Entei, that's a pretty good call out.
Really nice call out from Hayley, picking that as an obvious option. And yeah, I think even that's the thing, is even with the burn, this is still double damage from the Dondozo.
I mean, it is now thanks to that it's boosted at +4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Arnie just misjudged the Dondozo from turn 1.
Thing, just reading the Dondozo's speed wrong, and that's the thing. That's at the very least why you have these best of 3 series where you do pick up information. So in the third game, if these leads are the same, I think I don't see any reason for Arnie to swap up the...
Okay, that's actually good to know. At +2 by technicality, Ogerpon is able to survive an Order Up. Dondozo goes down, but I think the damage has been done.
The damage has definitely been done. Tatsugiri is going to be... Honestly, a Tatsugiri Icy Wind is going to be a really nice...
Oh, Trick Room's gone.
Yeah, and Trick Room's gone, which means that Tatsugiri's Choice Scarf is going to come in really nicely for it.
Yeah, we're going to see Indeedee come in, actually. Both these Pokemon are weak.
So we can at least expect that it was Hatterene as the last Pokemon in the back.
Yeah,
we don't know for sure.
Yeah, we don't know exactly what she brought towards the battle, but we have to assume it's been like this is like a very different take on a 2-2-2 team than you typically see from Dondozo. So typically we see a ruined Pokemon plus a Pokemon that can take advantage of it. Usually, this for Hayley's Ace is Ice Spam Drain.
Yeah, this battle's over. I think Helping Hand Icy Wind is going to be what picks this up.
Yeah, we're gonna see this Tatsugiri do his best effort to take out both this Pokemon, and it will get to do so. Wait, Entei lives on 3 HP actually next to that Assault Vest.
3 HP, reduced speed, and unable to use extreme speed because of the Psychic Terrain.
Sacred Fire comes out into the Tatsugiri. This is double resisted. Unfortunately, the Water Dragon typing does get another burn.
Doesn't mean much, but that is a fascinating burn rate.
I mean, the burn is 50% on both these Pokemon, which is important to note because there is a very big possibility that, well, the burn only really matters on the Dondozo and Archaludon, if anything.
Yeah, and not a whole lot on the Archaludon.
Only a body press.
Only really on a body press. So yeah, as far as things go, I think Arnie can lead the same two again. Arnie will not use the first turn setting up Trick Room against a Pokemon that's slower in Game 3 like he did in Game 2. And the Indeedee Iron Crown was a good lead. I think he should do that again. But
well, if you're Arnie, now you're aware of Dondozo's speed. Does Hayley do the same game plan she did in Game 2, which is like you lead Dondozo Tatsugiri straight up?
I think the problem is that the thing is in Game 2, if Arnie went with something else, something that was not get the Dondozo faster than you, then Arnie's in a pretty okay spot. I think, as I mentioned, Helping Hand Expanding Force, I don't know how much that does against the Dondozo. Probably a pretty substantial chunk. 2 of them might knock out the Dondozo.
I'll have to assume.
And if you don't get the Trick Room set up,
I had to assume
then you're faster.
I had to assume it's 3 hits based on the way that Dondozo's been trained. You know, we usually see these type of Dondozos be max speed, max attack with the potential adamant or jolly nature, and they typically aren't pretty bulky, even though they get the defensive boost. And I think because this Dondozo was slower than the Iron Crown for Trick Room, I think you had to assume this Dondozo is built to be long-lasting.
Yeah, that's certainly true. We'll see. We'll see if Hayley decides to go with the same lead. I think it might not be, just because it was kind of, yeah.
Well, it is 2 halves to a whole, and, well, Arnie gets the last piece of the whole puzzle, which is a Psychic Surge with Indeedee and Iron Crown. Hayley gonna bring her Indeedee with Dondozo as a pivot option.
Yeah, well, and I think here, it's still another option. I think Arnie can still just click Helping Hand Expanding Force, and either Dondozo takes a bunch of damage, or Dondozo does very little this turn. Because Indeedee's either in to get Trick Room up, knowing that Hayley does want to get Trick Room up, or to just switch out.
Well, Indeedee's gonna switch out. Is this a Tatsugiri gonna pull the trigger immediately for Hayley? And it is.
It's gotta be, yeah.
Okay, I guess the new question comes down to how much damage does Expanding Force do, or did Arnie play the Trick Room for a second game in a row?
I don't think Arnie is going to click Trick Room again. I'm pretty confident that he
the mind games are there with the Indeedee. The mind games is there.
The mind game is there, but I think Expanding Force, Helping Hand Expanding Force is such a free option right now.
And there you go, the hand claps. Hand claps with that Helping Hand. Here comes Expanding Force, and will not hit the Tatsugiri for obvious reasons. What's this? Okay, it should be 3 hits. Never mind, us 2.
I was gonna say, this is going to be brutal damage.
And there you go. This is why we. Oh, that's a big one-hit knockout on Iron Crown.
But it still takes out the Iron Crown. Now I wonder if Arnie wishes that was a Terrastal there, trying to save the Iron Crown.
Well, now you gotta go in here. Okay, Entei comes in here. I think this is a pretty obvious turn for Hayley to go protect, but if that's the case, do you switch out Indeedee for Ogerpon to punish to protect?
Potentially. I don't think there's any...
because we saw how much damage you took from the Dondozo from the Expanding Force, meaning continual stockpiling of Sacred Fire. I mean, right now it's doing nothing because it's the water type, but if you get the burn, it's detrimental to cancel out the leftovers.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that a Sacred Fire is good in general against this Dondozo. Obviously, your Entei is in trouble, and it's not a bad situation to terrastalize your Entei. There's not a whole lot that... Obviously, the Hurricane can come in, but it's unlikely that the Pelipper's the last Pokemon in the back, given that we know the Indeedee is there, and... I don't know. Arnie needs a way out of this somehow.
Timer's going down. 2 seconds left. He does get the move barely in, and Entei going to be switching out to Ogerpon.
That's interesting. This might be reading a Protect.
It technically can be, as we see the Ogerpon bounce into the battlefield. Follow me coming in here. I think Wait, Earthquake was definitely an option, but definitely Order Up was another one. And yeah, we do see an Order Up come into this Indeedee. This is gonna not knock it out quite yet, but that only makes Dondozo more dangerous. And the one thing that's circumventing this is tearing the Ogerpon to activate a body aspect for the speed boost, and then getting the Ivy Cudgel off into Dondozo to potentially get a critical hit, but it's also circumvented by Terra Grass on Dondozo, meaning...
Yeah, I think Dondozo also at this point can terrestrialize.
No, none of the Pokemon terrestrialize.
Terra, this could actually, if this crits, this could be an out for...
No, okay. Okay, fair enough. You know, at least you have to know that Arnie really wants to get that AP Cudgel off. But, like,
yeah.
The mind game,
obviously.
The mind game right now is quite. The mind game right now is quite literally. Do you bank on Ivy Cudgel critting, or do you want to terrestrialize to make sure Ivy Cudgel is doing minimal damage?
Yeah, and I think you've got to terrestrialize with this Dondozo here, and then launch out, I don't know, some other move, maybe just another Order Up. You do have the leftovers are really building this Dondozo's health back up, and it wasn't taking a ton of damage against that Sacred Fire in the first place. So I don't think it should feel uncomfortable with terrestrializing here, and we'll see that now.
Yeah, obviously the win condition is not to get KO'd by Ivy Cudgel, so it has a pretty high rate to crit.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the one out for Arnie, and this prevents that one out. I think even a Sacred Fire burn is not a real
Okay, didn't even go for it.
Yeah.
If this is Order to the Ogerpon, this is really bad. Oh, it was! Meaning the Dondozo is not going to attack boost. Indeedee gets a free turn at least. Go for a setup move here. Dazzling Gleam.
I was going to say, what can Indeedee do?
Well, I thought that was going to mitigate that.
I was going to say, what's an Indeedee going to do? Dondozo's slower. You don't want to get Trick Room up. Helping Hand and Follow Me aren't doing anything here. So Dazzling Gleam's your only option, and that doesn't do anything. Leftovers healed more than Dazzling Gleam. So what's Indeedee gonna do here?
I think this might signal Hayley might have this one locked up.
Yeah, I think Hayley absolutely has this one locked up.
Because you're at a point where you need to... Okay, getting more leftovers recovery. Because,
yeah, no reason not to. Just keep getting your leftovers.
Okay, because you're at a point right now where you need to get the Indeedee knocked out to get Entei in safely for that Sacred Fire.
Yeah.
The only question is, how much time is that going to take? Because if it takes too long, this might give the Dondozo enough health recovery, like, get into a position where Sacred Fire is not really as damaging.
I think even a critical hit Sacred Fire is not going to knock out this Dondozo from this amount of HP.
Well, you got to knock out the Indeedee right here, right now, if you're Arnie, because if you don't, you're going to be in a spot where Ogerpon's going to be taking too much damage.
Yeah.
Meaning, do you go Earthquake here, or do you go for Order Up for another attack boost?
I mean, yeah, the problem is that Arnie has the opportunity to do follow-up Spiky Shield again. I think for Hayley, you can... I think you have to Order Up here. You don't have to, but there's no reason not to Order Up here. I don't know.
Well, we see another Helping Hand come out here.
I would have anticipated Follow Me, Spiky Shield.
So we're going for as much damage as we can right now with this Ivy Cudgel. Does it get a chance? It has a chance to get a critical hit right now. I can't tell if that was
that
one.
That might have been a critical
no, it was not.
That's how much...
Ogerpon is able to take it just barely. In that red health,
anyways, it was going to take the hit regardless, but this means that the Dondozo can probably...
You just Earthquake in the rest of the game.
Yeah, or you can protect this turn and get another turn of healing and then Earthquake.
In terms of attacking, you're pretty much set to go Earthquake for the rest of the game because you're really not threatened under like a Terra Grass and the Entei, and even then you can counter that.
Yeah, well, yeah, you can Earthquake here to finish off both these Pokemon if you want, or Order Up again, because why not? Just keep clicking Order Up.
Okay, there is no protection to Dondozo, so we are going to see Earthquake or Order Up. I don't see Wave Crash being an option right now. Earthquake is the choice, and Indeedee going down. And yeah, I think we have to call it here. I think we're going to see Arnie just go down 2-1 at this early stage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and definitely a rough set, and we're seeing the power in that Dondozo, and I think the biggest thing was seeing the damage power of that Dondozo, because we often see it as more of a stally, sit in the battle a really long time option. And this Dondozo was really just a, hey, I'm gonna click Earthquake turn 1, and that Iron Crown is going to drop. And Iron Crown, not the bulkiest Pokemon in the world.
No,
so
it is definitely not one of the more bulkier Pokemon.
I wonder if it would have taken it if it terrestrialized turn 1 instead, which would have allowed Arnie to get a second expanding force off, which could have finished off the Dondozo.
Well, now we got to see another question. Did the Dondozo lock an Earthquake here? Oh, wait, we're protecting the Terra, so...
I was gonna say, why not?
So
it gets more leftovers healing, even more importantly.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
keep it moving slowly.
I forget the records of these players. I think they're both 1-1 or 2-0. I forget which one is the true record right now.
I think they're both not doing all that well right now. I thought Arnie told me he was 0-2.
Yeah, both players are 0-2 right now, so Hayley's going to get their first win. Arnie, unfortunately, with this loss, is going to put him out of taco contention.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, and we're going to see Sacred Fire coming in here. If he gets the burn right now, I mean, that's still
actually way better damage than I thought.
No burn comes out. Here comes Order up. It's not going to knock out the Entei, but an Earthquake's going to finish the game, and that's going to give Hayley her first win of the set. I mean, her first win today at this MSS, and Arnie, unfortunately, is going to drop to 0-3.
Yeah, and I like both these teams. These are both very fun teams, and I like Hayley's adaptation to figure out, the Dondozo obviously worked game number 2, you know, because it worked game number 2, but game number 3 just saying, I think the Dondozo can still hold up just fine, and I saw the Earthquake knock out the Iron Crown. I don't know, I struggle on some of Arnie's choices, but it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, what was the better thing he could have done? Because
I think terastallizing the Iron Crown turn 1. I think that was the play, and I wouldn't have thought of it in the moment, but I think that was the only way to take that Dondozo Earthquake.
Well, there's a burn.
There's the burn, but I think an Earthquake still takes down both of these Pokemon here.
Yeah, here we go. Earthquake gonna potentially finish the set right here. Arnie definitely shooken up. Does take a double knockout. Hayley Aldworth gonna win this set 2-1 over Arnie Wolf. Unfortunately, casters are currently yet to win a set.
Casters are struggling today.
Yeah, this is probably not their day today, and Hayley still has a remote chance to get into Taco that she can keep winning, but that's the one big ask to ask for this team. Her take up to the 2-2 team. Is it better than the Ruin Pokemon version of the 2-2-2?
I like the team. I don't know. I enjoy the team. I think it's an interesting Trick Room setup.
I mean, all it has for Trick Room is really our Childon and potentially that Dondozo out there we got from that set. And yeah, that's how that battle goes. And unless we got anything from production, we're going to be taking a short break here to go into round number 4 coming after. And we're spinning the wheel for another manga giveaway.
I'm so excited.
All right, which book are we giving away this time?
Make room for the wheel.
Yeah, we're making room for the wheel. We're going to see who wins the giveaway.
Oh, I didn't do it right that time.
Don't worry about it. We're gonna give away another manga book. We don't know which one it is. We have 4 manga books left if you didn't get the notice. And maybe spin the wheel.
I'm just gonna let Troy do it.
All right, as the wheel spins, one of our lucky players.
I'm glad I'm actually. I look like I'm looking at the wheel when I'm looking at the monitor over there.
That's really good to know. The wheel's gonna stop spinning at any moment. Is it gonna be Ryan Wayne who's gonna win the next manga book? No, it's gonna be Alexander Canseco.
Hold. Yeah.
Alexander Canseco. Thanks. Congratulations on winning another manga book.
And of course, all day today we are supporting Child's Play. You can go to childsplaycharity.org to learn more about what they do to help kids with the therapeutic power of play. And you can use this QR code down here or !donate to donate and support them.
Yeah, we're already halfway through the goal. If you haven't noticed, we already reached 265. You know, if we get to 500 before the stream ends, that's be a big help towards helping those children out and make sure they're alive and well. And now that we finished that, we'll take our break. We'll go back. We'll be back with round 4.